What's up guys, this is Jordan here, and today in this video let's do the unboxing and the review of the Poco M2 smartphone. Poco, as we know, is a sub-brand of Xiaomi and is currently doing very well with its lineup. From its first ever flagship device, that is the Poco F1, to the budget-oriented Poco M2, so it has got a variety of devices in its list. So is this budget device from Poco worth the price? Let's find out. Now as for the unboxing, first opening up the box, we get a SIM ejector tool. Then we have the phone itself. Then underneath the phone, we have a USB Type-C charging cable, and a 10-watt charger. Unfortunately, we do not get any phone case in the box. So now to give you a physical overview of the phone, the Poco M2 comes with a 6.5-inch IPS LCD Full HD display with a normal 60Hz refresh rate, which is protected with a Corning Gorilla Glass 3. Then we have the 8-megapixel f2.0 aperture selfie camera, which is embedded in the teardrop notch, and finally we have the earpiece. The back of the phone is made up of polycarbonate, which feels decently good. So we then have a quad camera setup with LED flash on the back, out of which one is a regular 13 megapixel having f2.2 aperture. Then we have the 8 megapixel ultra wide camera with f2.2 aperture. Then we have the 5 megapixel macro camera with f2.4 aperture and a 2 megapixel depth camera having 2.4 aperture. And down below we have the fingerprint scanner. So on the right hand side, we have the power on off button and the volume buttons, whereas on the left hand side, we can find a SIM card tray with dedicated micro SD card slot. So on the top, we have a secondary noise cancellation microphone and an IR blaster, while on the bottom houses the USB Type-C port for charging, main microphone, speaker, and a headphone jack. As for the internals, the Poco M2 is equipped with a MediaTek Helio G80 processor and Mali G50 GPU, coupled with 6 GB of RAM with either 64 or 128 GB of internal storage. This all runs on Android 10, MIUI 11, and powering all this is a massive 5000 mAh battery. Talking about the display first, the IPS LCD Full HD display fitted on the Poco M2 looks really good, especially considering the price. Poco has put a nice and a vibrant display, and the text look really sharp as well. The colors also look natural and vivid. It doesn't have any fancy screen refresh rate, but with what it offers, it does well. So I only wish the sunlight visibility was a bit better, as the display looks a bit dull in direct sunlight. So other than that, I didn't face any issues whatsoever. So now coming to the performance, the MediaTek G80 processor coupled with 6 GB of RAM performs quite well, and I can say it's similar to the Snapdragon 712. The phone handles day-to-day tasks smoothly, and I hardly noticed any hiccups. But when I push the phone a slightly more, then that's the time I noticed slight stutters here and there. So even while playing some heavy games like Call of Duty and Asphalt Extreme, I didn't face much issues and it could run reasonably well. The phone did hit up a bit while using it extensively for heavy tasks, but nothing to worry about. The Poco M2 does come with a water repellent coating which can survive some splashes of water, but don't think of using it in rain or diving with it in the pool. Securing the device with the fingerprint and the face unlock is also present here. The fingerprint scanner is mounted on the rear of the phone. The fingerprint scanner is fast and unlocks the device really quickly and looks to be quite reliable. The face unlock also worked fine. Aiming on the Poco M2 was reasonably well. I played a couple of graphic intensive games like Call of Duty Mobile and Asphalt Extreme, and it worked fine at low to medium settings. Oh yeah, there were slight frame drops here and there in the gameplay, but it was very much playable to most extent. I did notice some heating after playing the games for some time, but nothing unusual. The low graphic games ran very smoothly and I didn't face any issues or frame drops whatsoever. So overall, the Poco M2 does a decent job in gaming. The single speaker on the other hand got decently loud and I didn't have to bump the volume to max so every time to be clearly audible. Now coming to the software experience, the MIUI 11 based on Android 10 packs some rich features as ever. The Poco launcher handled the regular tasks fine and the animations were quite smooth and fluid to most part. The full suite of Mi apps were present including Mi Music, Mi Video, Mi Browser, etc. and most of them can't be installed. It also packed plenty of bloatware which I managed to install some right after I got the phone. Despite all stock MIUI apps, I was surprised not to see any ads or recommendation in the notification shades. The RAM management is also done well and it managed to hold at least 5 to 6 apps in memory without restarting once I switched to them, but I noticed some choppiness while switching between apps though. So as for the battery life, the Poco M2 is powered with a massive 5000 mAh battery and it also has an 18-watt fast charging support, but the charger is not bundled in the box and need to be bought separately. The battery performance is excellent. I was easily able to get approximately 2 days of battery life with regular usage. This included both Wi-Fi and 4G connection, a little bit of gaming and lots of social media browsing. But using the phone extensively for heavy usage takes a bit of hit on the battery life. Once the battery dies, the bundled 10-watt charger is very slow in charging the monster battery, which takes about 2 hours 50 minutes to fully charge the phone. Coming to the cameras now, the Poco M2 packs a decent quad camera setup on the back. The main camera being the 13 megapixel clicks some good pictures in broad daylight in this category. The colors were produced well and the white balance was also fine. The images were decently sharp and detailed, especially during good lighting conditions. As the camera don't pack any OIS or EIS, you need to be a bit steady while clicking pictures or else you would get some blurry images. So the 8 megapixel wide angle camera on the other hand does a good job. Although it shifted towards a slightly cooler white balance, it also seemed a bit more washed out compared to the main sensor. But it remained decently sharp. It could capture a lot more scene and also maintained a good color accuracy overall. The 5 megapixel macro camera was fine and it puts out decent close-up shots if you get the distance right with its fixed focus lens. The 2 megapixel depth camera does its job well. It produces some detailed portraits and the images clicks have some convincing blur to it. The 8 megapixel selfie camera captures some decent selfie, especially in good lighting conditions. The skin tones are produced well and offer us well lit pictures. The portrait mode is also available for selfies too, and it is as competent as a single fixed focus camera can be. But in the low light and artificial lighting condition, the camera struggles to get the exposure right. The images are slightly overexposed with an awful lot of processing and aggressive noise reduction. The white balance also often go for a toss. I would say the output was decent considering the price of the phone. But I wish they improve on the low light picture quality with some software upgrades. As for the video, the Poco M2 can shoot up to 1080p 30 fps and the quality look good. The video quality look detailed, exposure is handled well, and the footage was stabilized provided you hold the phone steady while shooting the videos, so as it doesn't come equipped with OIS or EIS. So overall, I was satisfied with the video quality of the Poco M2. Finally, as for my verdict, The Poco M2 is a great option in a budget for people looking for a phone with a good day-to-day performance, decent gaming performance, a good display, and a solid battery life at an affordable price. I only wish they work slightly more on the cameras, which would then make the Poco M2 the best in its class. So that's it for the video guys, and I really hope you liked it. If you all did, then hit the thumbs up button, or else I can vote it down. Kindly smash that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon to get notified whenever a new video goes live. So until next time, you guys take care. Ciao.